Everybody is ready to share data with you, including customers and consumers, as long as there's something in it for them. I joined the automotive industry for two main reasons. I hated the experience of going and buying a car, and I hated the experience of taking my car to for service maintenance. Okay. And I wanted to do something about those. So when I joined Nissan, we've got something called Customer Power. So where you put the customer really at the heart of everything that you're doing. And I would say the first 6 months of my job, I was very much focusing just on customer experience from the marketing side point of view. And then it expanded to include all other departments, so sales, after sales, dealer network development, so on and so forth. And it's great because right now I get to see a full visibility, a 360 view of the experience of the customer at every single touch point with the brand, be it on the online or the offline, or what we call the physical and the digital. And that's absolutely great because really you get to figure out where the pain points are, what are the things to be able to enhance, how can you connect the online journey with the offline journey, how do you just make it seamless.
I think the expectation of the customer is completely different.
Yes.
The fears or the phobias, flying, dentist, mouses and cockroaches, and car showroom was one of the top 6 things people don't like doing. Yeah. So yeah, I totally understand that.
I think a lot of OEMs are learning from the Apple model and those, if you want, unicorns that came out there, in the sense of moving the salesperson into becoming more of an advisor rather than a salesperson. So remove that sales hat, even though you gotta meet your targets at the end of the month, and be an advisor. So talk to the customer, take him through the journey, in order to figure out which vehicle is the right vehicle for that person. And it will turn into a sale eventually. Because the customer, when he's coming to your showroom, he's already done he's done his background study. He knows the vehicle, what do you have to offer versus your competition. Yeah. He's seen the price difference, he's seen the feature difference. So he's coming to you in order to see, is this really the product that I wanna hook myself with or no? But the fact that he walked inside your showroom, it means there is willingness. And this is where it's your job to forget about the price of the vehicle, start talking to him. How do you excite him in becoming a customer of that product? Looking at Nissan Intelligent Mobility, how do you sell him Nissan Intelligent Mobility? So how do you sell him the future of what we're doing at Nissan? I think a great market now is Saudi with women driving now over there. How do you you're talking about this woman who used to come and she used to choose the car based on the back seat.
On the back seat, yes.
Now she's coming and she's choosing the car being behind the wheel. So there's a lot of learnings. I assure you there's a lot of learnings from that. How do you appeal to that customer in selling them what your brand and your product have to offer? So we work a lot with the power of data to be able to look at the history of what were the journeys of people, and we anticipate what could be their next journey is, and we plot those. And based on that, we work on, and this I'm talking from an online point of view. From an offline, or physical, inside the showrooms, when you're walking in, what tools can we provide that customer or consumer in order to help them with their buying journey? And I'm not sure if you've seen what we've done as a pilot in Europe, in France. So we've launched Nissan Hub, Nissan City Hub over there. And it's a pilot project which we've done in order to connect the physical world with the digital world. We call it Phygital. And how do we connect those two together? So you're walking inside a shopping mall and you'll find the store of Nissan. There are 2 cars, and we've got the, not salespeople, we've got the advisors or consultants who walk with you across, showing you that vehicle, what are the features inside of it, how you can customize it the way you want, how you can configure it, how you can look at the total cost of ownership, really going through the whole thing with you. And they tell you, would you like to drive it? And they take you to the parking inside the mall. There are 10 cars parked there. They take one of the cars, they drive it, they come back to the mall, and then they leave you on your own, because everything is so clear for you, where you can continue the purchase through your credit card and buy the car.
Wow. So, okay, wow, that's just, so there is nothing, comparing what you just said, there is nothing currently in our region that we're active in that even comes close to that kind of experience. How do we bridge?
Look, I salute every brand which is trying to dare and do something different. It saddens me when they are just doing one bit of it, and because they're spending a lot of money on that, but they're not really thinking of what's next. There is a certain brand which opened a showroom inside the mall. When you go there, I was so excited, and I went there, and I got completely disappointed. Amazing screens on the walls and all of that, zero experience whatsoever. There was nothing I can interact with, nothing telling me about the vehicles over there. Nobody came and spoke to me. And this is what we're trying to move away from.
What role do the dealers play, and how would you go about, how do you make sure and foster your partnerships to get that actual customer experience sorted?
It's great that you mentioned the word partnership, because, I mean, looking at Nissan, we are the brand custodians, so we own the brand, and we're the dealers, or they're our partners. So how do we go and activate the brand in each one of the markets along with our dealers? So where we're putting the global strategy and we come and cascade it down into a region, the way it happens is our dealers, they have their own business objective that they want to achieve, which is obviously aligned with us and agreed about that. But our role comes very much in how do we empower them and support them with what they need in order to be able to achieve their objectives. So from a customer experience point of view is, let's say one of our dealers comes and tells us, I want to launch e-commerce. So I want to do that, I'm ready for it, I want to take it forward. What can you give me in terms of learnings from global, and how can you help me take it to the next level? And this is where we start working very closely with them. Data is available everywhere. So really it's available everywhere. The idea is, do you have clean data or no? And the starting point before we go into all of that, because when I first joined, I told my bosses is that the starting point for me is look at the infrastructure. What infrastructure do we have in place? Do we have a data warehouse? Are our systems connected with each other? What kind of tools are we using, so on and so forth? And this was really, so 2017 to mid-2018 was very much looking at the infrastructure, setting it up properly, identifying which tools do we want to use. This is from a Nissan perspective. And then looking from a dealer's perspective, which DMSs are they using? Which tools are you using? How are our systems connected with each other? Are they in real time or they are manual, so on and so forth? So it was a very extensive project. And alongside, while doing all of that, we were doing a lot of meetings with the dealers and explaining to them exactly what we're doing. You see, from a leads management, for instance, perspective, we created an AMI Salesforce instance, and we connected each one of those markets to them. And the dealers are connected to all of those. But the way we went about it is, why are we doing that? It's because when we have a full visibility on the whole region, we're able to share learnings from one market to another, best practices. We're able to help you identify which of your showrooms are actually not performing as good as the other showrooms. We're trying to tell you which is the time length which is ideal in order for you to get back to a possibility. So the data points that we got and the learnings that we got out of this is really great. And thankfully, dealers have started to see the added value of that. We want to reach a 360 view of the customer. We were talking earlier before we started recording about how frustrating it is when you call a call center and you tell them your whole story, and then they transfer you to somebody else and you got to repeat the whole story again. So imagine when you're booking for a test drive, and then you go to the showroom, but you have to repeat the story to them that you booked for a test drive, and they ask you, who did you speak with, because they can't find that information. Or when you're taking your car for service, and they have to look at, and they're asking you, when was the last time you brought your car for service? All of that is frustrating, and a customer does not want to go through this anymore. You stop confusing the customer, because the customer is getting confused, and the customer, actually I have a message, I would love to show it to you after the program. I got sent an SMS. The first one started with, hello Ali, and blah, blah, blah. Then, hello Maria, blah, blah, blah. And then the third day, a different, so it's like they're testing and trying out which customer am I talking to.